Here is a Frigidaire 10,000 BTUs air the conditioner. I'm going to do a real brief cleaning on this today just to get the condenser cleaned up from a couple years of use, and we're going to drill a drain hole in the bottom to try to prolong the unit for as long as we can. So let's start removing screws. That bit is not the right fit. You always want to use a bit that's the right size so that you don't strip out the screws. And that's a good size. Stay there. There's no screws in here? Yes, we did. I'm not sure if the top panel has to be unscrewed. I don't think it does. We'll see. Can't quite tell. No, I don't think it does. Although I think this has to come off, the front has to come off first. How this come off. This is ludicrous. I didn't think this was going to be the most difficult part. stumped here. There has to be a way to come off. I'm just not sure how to do it. Okay, the control panel looks like it doesn't really detach. It's kind of a nuisance. I think this can probably just kind of chill out there for a second. I'll lift the case off. Okay. Well, there actually is some mold in there, so maybe we got to do a little bit more cleaning than I thought. Either way, let's take the machine outside and go from there. Alright, this is what the machine looked like inside. Pretty chintzy, I have to say. Not impressed by the design at all. What the heck is going on there? This just fills with water, and so of course that's all rotted out. Stupid design. Same thing over here, it's pure rust. I think this is the condensate path here, so what I'll do is if this is it, I'm not completely certain that this is it, it might be in the center, but if this is it, I'll just put a hot glue, strip of hot glue there. Yeah, it probably comes out right there. I'll put a bead of hot glue and drill a hole and it'll never pass through again. The condenser looks pretty decent though. I mean, the evaporator looks decent. But it is relatively clean. I think a good rinsing with the garden hose will be good enough for this. I don't know why the camera's not focusing, but there's not much in there to see. It's pretty clean. So. It's a lot of rot from condensation pooling in there, because it's just how they designed the things now. Bad news. I'd really like to detach the controls. Let's see if I can do so. They don't seem to come off. I'm not messing with that whatsoever. I'll see if I can get them off from inside the control box instead. I need to get a different bit. This one is not the right size. Let's see if we can just unplug the wire. Yeah, it looks like we can. Although I think it was unnecessary to remove these screws, so I'll put them back before they get lost. I think we have a plug right in here that won't detach. Or not. Looks like it should come off. Not sure why it isn't. To coerce it a little bit, perhaps. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now I do need to remove these two screws. Okay, now the front is detached. We'll just set aside over here so it doesn't get wet. And I think we're going to have to just cut the evaporator chamber open again because it's all just foam taped together. Okay. Yeah, there's some mold in there. Nothing crazy. I should clean off pretty easy, but there's definitely some. I don't know if this is true to this day still, but historically, in like the 2000s, 2010s era, Frigidaire was supposed to be one of the brands that's easier to clean and service. To me, that was pretty easy to take apart. Now we're going to run into this freak show with the fan, because it looked like, to me, it's designed the same way as that sharp one was from last night. However, it's possible that we could just cut all these zip ties, and maybe the fan motor will have enough slack to just come right off. And I think they're loose enough that I can cut them and reuse them. So we'll just cut it right at the beginning. I don't even really think that these are necessary, but that's a different story. Actually, it will have enough slack, I think, to come off with ease. Alright, so now we have to remove 2 screws from the top of the condenser shroud. And then there's 2 screws down below holding it on, so I gotta go grab the longer bit. And they're not rusted out yet, so I should be able to get those off. Came out with these. And that came out with these. I just tend to move it over to the cleaning area. I don't know what that junk is or what it's for. All over the top of the compressor terminals. I cannot imagine that we really need it. Okay, that is a completely satisfactory design as far as coming apart is concerned. Now, let's take a look at the evaporator chamber. See what needs to be done here. It looks to me like the drain is definitely right there. So we'll put a bead of hot glue here, hole there, and it should never go back into the condenser again. I'm also going to put a little hole between here and here, very, very small, just because, actually I suppose I could go, probably could go right through here, because, no, it should be at the bottom. For whatever reason, I've noticed on some of these newer units, the water accumulates inside of here. You know, there's really no good nowhere to put it. Well, we'll just have to see if the issue happens on this one. Some of the smaller ones I've had issue with them doing that. Alright, so I gotta go get a new memory card because this one's almost full. I'll make up some condenser cleaner because that is definitely worse than I thought it was. And we'll get to cleaning. put the hot glued air, so now the water will never enter into the condenser area again. So that should prohibit any new rust from forming. So at this point we're pretty much good to reassemble. Hopefully it goes back on as easily as it came off. Those are pretty high expectations, but let's see. Looks like it's going to meet and exceed those expectations. Okay. So now we just screw everything back in. I'm not going to tape. Well, I guess I could. I got enough film. I've only got 20 minutes of film left, so let's see. Try to go as quickly as I can here without making mistakes. Got 2 screws in the back to hold the condenser in place, one of which just fell. Those are still holding, but they're certainly on their way out. Yep, the glue is set in and working. I don't know if these are stainless steel screws or not, but down here at the bottom this really should be stainless steel screws, although now it won't really matter because this won't be exposed to high amounts of water anymore. And it still looks like trash back here, but it doesn't really matter because no indoor air is going through it. And the condenser too doesn't look all that clean, but it's functionally clean. And for something like this, I think the condenser cleaner is better spent on something else. We're just about done here. We're just going to put these wires back onto the return here, just to make sure that they don't get into the way of the fan, because that would be a freak show and a half. Still don't have any lighting in my garage, so I'm really struggling to see at this point because the sun is starting to go down. Using the same tie wraps as before, I just cut them at the very edge so that I can reuse them. If I could see what I was doing, this wouldn't take as long, but I just can't see. It's too dark. Can't see where the hole is in the tie wrap thing. Alright, let's see how many minutes I can tolerate struggling with this. So I just forgo it. Oh, that one's no good. I just put it in outside of where it needs to be. That's not going to work anymore. Can't get it, can't see where it needs to go in. This is ludicrous. I need to get lighting in this room. I hate when simple things become unnecessarily difficult. There we go. Alright, got that in. I'm going to put one strap around the condenser, the compressor wiring as well, just to keep it away from the fan. That of course would be a recipe for disaster if the compressor wire entered into the realm of the fan blades. Alright, I think that's good enough. There's no reason that the wires are ever going to come out and go in here. Okay. At this point, pretty much just have to put the chambers back on and strap the thing down. As far as the ease of cleaning goes, it's definitely better than others. It's still not great, but it is certainly better than some of the other ones I've worked on, for sure. Especially in comparison to that Sharp one. Holy mackerel. That Sharp is the absolute worst air conditioner to service I've ever encountered. The styrofoam, I don't like the way they design it because it's not a smooth surface, and so it catches mold. And a little bit of mold that I can't get off with the towel. It's probably not going to get off into the air, but I still don't like it. At least the top came pretty clean. Alright, so that's that. It pretty much just sits like that. Oh, wet. It'll dry as the unit dries the room out, which it hopefully will do. Alright, so now I'll put the cover back on. I didn't really wash this at all, but I'm not concerned about it. It's only in the garage. Control board is kind of wet. That's not ideal, but I don't think it's anywhere near wet enough to actually have an issue. Oh, before I lock the side on, I gotta put the wire back through there for the controls. plugging these in the dark is really going to be fun. At least once all this is done, I won't have to be sweating in the garage anymore. That will be nice. It was actually much easier than I thought it was going to be. Looks like we missed one of the clips on this one. I put it back. So I'm going to take the bottom screws off, at least just loosen them a little bit. That was good enough. Okay, now the housing can go back on. I'm going to go forward quite a bit still. I don't feel like it's sitting quite right. No, it's not. Something isn't quite right here. There we go. Now it's right. Pesky styrofoam chambers. I don't want to tighten these down yet. We'll wait until they're all in place before we start tightening it again. Because then we have to shift it around a little bit. I think some of these screws technically are a little bit different, but I just don't really care. They're all the same length, it's thread size, so I don't think it's really making much of a big difference, if any. Some of them have that little plastic washer in there. I suspect that's some kind of rust control mechanism maybe. Although clearly these units are not designed to have minimal rust because there is no drain hole. Alright, that's good for the case screws. We can tighten them up now. And this is set to a low torque value. We're not going hard. The These are just going into sheet metal. They'll strip real easy. Case in point, they strip real easy. Yeah, those threads are rusted out, so it's not really grabbing this. Oh well. Not a big deal. Well, we've got 3 screws left, which I think is the exact number that we need for the front case. I don't know what kind of wonky nonsense goes up on the top here. I do not understand it at all. Well, somehow it's in there, and that's good enough for my concerns. We had a film yet? I got 4 minutes left to film. I think we can do it in 4 minutes. Okay then. Not sure why. I'm not sure what just happened here. I think what might have happened is, oh, I'm almost guaranteed to run out of film now. I think this slips in here. Oh, this is simple. This just slips back into here like this. Dang, it looks simple. Okay, and that was simple. Oh goof, it's upside down. Two minutes of film left. Oh, I could do this so much faster if I could see what I was doing. But I can't. Well, we're going to run out of film, but I think the general concept was captured. And once I get this back on, this machine will be cleaned and ready to go into the garage. I gotta wash the filter for dust. I'll take care of that. And then that'll be it.